Hi, Joe Cerrone.
Al Rosen.
Welcome to our weekly meeting of CAD 107, Introduction to 3D Printing. This is our fifth meeting, and we're on lab number 5. Al, would you like to talk about it?
Certainly. Lab 5 is a vase that we selected. As you know, as we're going through, you see Lab 5, project and quotations, project 12, that's a vase. That is in the book. So we want to make sure you understand that what we're doing is 1 through 5 and label correctly. We have a PDFs and videos for you all set up. The first one is a PDF. It's great introduction to 3D printing. If you left click on it, please, Joe. And here's a PowerPoint that goes through it, and it shows everything you want to know about the PDFs of modeling, 3D modeling, and how to use a 3D modeling project printer, which are 3D printers. So you can go through that at your leisure. And then we have a video of it. Joe's done a great video of it.
So the PDF was on how the bookwork ties in.
There we go.
This is, we can actually teach this remotely, so this is really pretty nice. But we'll go through, and I can skip the ads here. Won't let me. Good enough. There it is. Ads. And I'm not sure what this is, but that's not me. So something happened there. But 3D printing the vase. Come on. There it is. Somehow I jumped through it. There it is. And so we go through how to slice it and how to create it.
And you download the slicing software.
And we've covered that in previous chapters. But as we go through, okay, here's the lecture. The lecture ties into the textbook, Introduction to 3D Printing. And then here's the videos. Al has color-coded them. So things in blue are reading assignments. Purple is video assignments. And so here's how to create this drawing. And so we show you how to model it and how to create the part. There's a student file that students can download. And it's pretty well set up for you that even if you have some difficulty, you should be able to kind of make your way through the exercise, because we give you these tutor files, which kind of have things kind of set up, because we realize not everybody has as much CAD experience as we do. But essentially we draw these 3 different shapes, and we draw them at different Z levels. And then we use the loft tool to loft between the different objects. And so here's the loft eventually. I do a lot of talking in these videos.
Or you can type it in, either way you like to do it.
Right. And so I'm just going to cut to the chase here because it hasn't done it yet. And there it goes. And so we show how to loft the objects. And then we show you how to export it. And we'll be printing that with what's called Spiralize Outer Contour, which allows them to print very fast some very big shapes. And so vases are really a neat project. They're great because I don't think Mother's Day is coming up for a while yet, but you know what? A 3D printed vase is always something Mom would like. So maybe I'll have to make one for my mom too. Here's the title block for the paper. Okay. Now, if you use the title block, you're going to be drawing from scratch. But if you want the geometry, the student help files, you go under Content, and then to Lab 5, just checking to see if it's visible. And then here's the Word file. This is just the directions, and here's what's called a project file. So if you download this file and then you open it, you'll have something that looks like this. And so, and actually, let's see if that's the one I wanted.
I believe it is.
Yes, it is, yeah. And so there is an example of how that file was created here. in our example here. And so I'm just going to undo that back, but it's not a real difficult concept. You know, the concept, I'm going to put my UCS back to plan. And then the concept is that you can go to a top view, and then we can draw these different shapes. And so I'm just going to draw a rectangle. And then you can draw another rectangle right by the same one. And then you can draw another one. Let's just do one inside of it. It works good with Snap-on because then everything will be perfectly in the center. And then we can rotate them. And so I can rotate this one, and I'll rotate it like that. And then I can rotate this one. And then if I take an isometric view, then the idea would be to 3D move them. And so we can 3D move these objects, and I'll just take this one here, and I'll just take this one up, and I'm just going to eyeball it rather than, I can use the dimensions, but at this point, we're just giving an example. 3D move. Make sure you only move them in the Z-axis. Don't try to move them in all the axes. And I can move, let's move this one here. And then once we have those geometries set up where there are 3 different heights, we can go and use the loft command. I'm just going to type it in. And so we can loft from here to here to here. And that's it. Okay. Once you have those parts lofted, we export those as a STL file. You know, you can tweak the lofting parameters. We encourage you to experiment with the software. You can get some really neat design shapes. It doesn't have to necessarily be a square. You could use ovals and circles and things like that. We've had some really nice, very creative designs. Once you have the file, what you'll do is you'll save it. And then what you'll do is you'll turn in that file. A lot of people also export them. We have been telling you to export them. And so you export it as an STL file here. And then once I export it, I just tag the file there. And then I can bring it into my slicing software. And so here's my Dremel Slicing software. I have one of the student files. We do have the student files printed. And so we have them, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a Dropbox that you guys can come in and pick them up in. With that, I just printed one more. I just heard it finish. And so we are in business. It does have some digital applications where we can actually get a token and put those in there, but we haven't quite gotten that advanced yet. So turn in your assignments to the assignment folder, and then I will print them in the lab. And we're working on getting the lab cameras networked in. I was able to do that at the house, but here at the college, I have an IT department. And so once I have that file created, I can open it. And so let's see, I think this is the one today. Yep, open that. And then there's my file. And so I will put it onto the canvas here. It's a little too big to fit in, and so I'm going to scale it. And I think I'll go with 50%. And then I have to move it back to the middle. Whoa. And then it should get close enough to move down. Let's see if that's good enough. Almost. There we go. And then we can prepare it.
And that will give you the time and the length of a procedure it will take to make.
Now this is making this at 4 hours and 6 minutes because we didn't use Spiralize Outer Contour on that. And this is a great example. Once we slice it, we can look at the layers. And so there's 458 layers, and it has a fill pattern in it. If I look at it, you can see it's using the fill pattern. Now to get it so that it doesn't have the fill pattern, what I would do is I'll come over here, and my computer's kind of glitching a little bit. And I'm going to use something called Spiralize Outer Contour. And so let's see if I can keep my computer together. It would be under specialty modes. And we just enable this, Spiralize Outer Contour, and then I prepare it again, and we'll go from 4 hours
Try hitting prepare again one more time, Joe.
Yeah, there it goes. Down to 59 minutes. And then as we look at this, you'll see that the slicing now is better because there's no infill pattern. And it just essentially prints this hollow shape. So it goes much faster. This is a great way to build really big parts very quickly. So that's lab 5. And then if we come back to our main splash page, there's a student file here in lab 5. Here's our lecture. And here's the link to the video on how to do the projects. Again, students can come in and pick them up. You can just let me know. I'm typically here on Wednesdays running the course from the lab facilities in Skokie. And that completes lab 5. I have printed lab 4. I'm sorry, lab 3. I will print lab 4 as they're turned in. And that's about all I have, Al. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, just if you have any questions, problems, let's say the drawing is not complete and you don't think it's ready or not finished, you can turn it into assignments and give a comment down below and just say, do not grade this. I need some help on X, Y, and Z, whatever the case be. And we'll get back to you, see what happens. And we'll send it back to you, finished up or corrected or whatever the case be.
That's right. You know, you always have the ability to instant message us and to ask us questions. We'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Sometimes we get back to you right away. Other times it takes a little bit longer, but we try to get them answered within the day. And so that's our weekly Zoom classroom meeting for meeting number 5. And we'll see you guys online next week. And that completes this recording. I'm going to open things up for questions now.